All right, everybody, hello and welcome to my first ever seafood boil. Never done this before in my life. We're actually having a party right now. I realized we have this outdoor burner that I'm going to be able to use for beer brewing and stuff in the future as well. We got it when we moved into the house. We bought a lot of the stuff that the previous owner had, including things like some grills that are over there, a smoker. Like, he was big into smoking and all this stuff. And this is in the corner. I went and pulled it out, tested it this morning, made sure it worked, and I said, you know what? We're having a party. Let's have a seafood boil. So, as with anything else, I watched some videos on how to do it, the best methods to do it. So we're gonna start. I don't know if you can hear that yelling in there. They're asking for margaritas. It's a party, so hopefully this will be successful. So let me get some stuff ready and stay tuned. All right, so I got a pot here filled with water. First thing I gotta do is get this thing lit up and then get this water to a boil. Now, I don't actually have all the completely appropriate accessories for this. I do have another, I have a big pot and I have another strainer that can go in here, but it's not meant for this pot. I don't know if that's gonna be big enough or not, so we might have to get rid of that. But let's get this thing lit up and we can start getting our water boiling. So there we go, it is lit up, getting this water boiling. It's probably gonna take a little while, but hopefully the system will make it a lot faster than I tried to do it inside. So anyways, wait for this water to boil. So as this is getting ready to go to a boil, I'm actually gonna add some beer to give it some flavor. I know what you're thinking, it's just Miller Lite. It's all I really have right now that I can add, but I wanna give it a go with some of this stuff. So I'm gonna add in 4 cans of Miller Lite, and then we'll get ready to get the seasonings in there as well. So who knows if it'll actually add any really good flavor to it, but you know what? It's there. I can't say I forgot it. It could have been better with it because now it's in there. All right, water's about up to a boil. I'm gonna start adding my crawfish, shrimp, and crab seasoning. This one is from Come On Man. It says just pour it in and boil. I've seen videos where you can add a bunch of other things to it as well. Since this is the first time I've ever done this, I'm just gonna go with this. This is actually a 4-pound bag though, and most of what I understand, I only need about 16 ounces. So I portioned out 16 ounces worth, or about quarter of it. I eyeballed it because 16 ounces should be quarter of this 4-pound bag. So let's add that, get it going in there, and then I'm gonna add some lime, some onions, some garlic, and then get my potatoes started. So let's go. All right, so here we go. Seasoning pack is going in. That was probably too much. Yes! Which is something that's definitely going to happen if you do it the first time. So, I'll be honest, there's probably too much water in here. So before I add the rest of this, I might dump some of it out because I added all that extra beer. So, anytime.
Cooking is an experiment.
Oh no, that'll stay in there. There's no question. After that snafu, I dumped out some of the water. Hopefully I didn't lose too much of the good flavoring that was in there. This probably looks like a much more manageable level. I also turned down the flame because it was probably way too high. So let's add the rest of the seasoning. It's at a very rolling boil right now. There we go. That seems to have done the trick. It definitely bubbled up a little bit in the pot where you guys can't see, but it definitely bubbled up in there a little bit, but didn't go over the edge this time. So let's get that in there. Let's add in, I'm adding in basically 2 whole onions to this thing. I don't want the onion pieces to get all over, but I still want to impart that flavor in there, so we're just going to throw those in. I've got a bunch of minced garlic in here. I'm actually curious if this really should be cooked first or just added now, but I haven't seen anything that says otherwise, so I'm just going to throw this right on in here. Bunch of garlic, give it a good garlic flavor, and we got a handful of small limes. I'm going to squeeze them in here. Now I'm going to squeeze them in. I'm dropping them in as well. We can just fish them out at the end when we're all done. Well, as I'm looking at this pot, I actually just realized my second mistake, and I guess we're too late to go back now. I really could fix it. We'll see. But I never put this in there to make it easier to remove. So off camera, I might just get a scoop, get all the stuff out, because right now it's just big stuff that needs to come out, so it'll be pretty easy actually. So we'll do that in a moment, but anyways guys, this is what we're working on right now. Let's let it impart some flavor before I add the potatoes in here. there we go, crisis averted. Everything is now in here. This will go in. Well, too late for that. And it's funny, having just done that, I realized there's probably, like, this thing is not going to be, it's smaller than the container. I probably have to remove it anyway. I don't think everything else is going to fit in there with that thing in there. So, no, he's added dirt for no reason. Hey, you boil it, it's going to be all good. Alright guys, we're ready for the next step, and as my friend Darwin, sitting over here in the corner, pointed out, I don't know if you guys noticed the fact that when I put this colander, the strainer in here, I neglected to clean the bottom, so at least it'll be boiled, but there might be a little bit extra in there for people. You know what, that's what we do. And it's funny because it turns out that it was all for naught because there's not enough room in here anymore, so I need to dump it right back into the main pot and we'll have to strain it afterwards because I realized there's just not enough liquid in here, liquid room in here. Let me actually grab the camera and show you guys.
Like everything in here.
Yeah, there's not gonna be enough liquid room in here to get everything else, so I need to dump this right on back in to the bigger pot, and we'll have to, like I said, strain it when all is said and done. Okay, so let's transfer this, and let's transfer this carefully so I don't hurt myself. Not actually, the edges of this thing are not that hot. It's a pretty well insulated pot apparently. Careful for the splashback. So there we go, we're doing the big pot. We use this at the end to strain it all out. So now I don't have to worry about it. I set it on the ground right there. But potatoes. So we got brand new potatoes for this. A mix of little baby red and baby white potatoes. I wanted to get red. They actually did not have just red potatoes though. I also had a couple leftover potatoes that were relatively, they were older, so I wanted to make sure they get used before they go bad. And I cut them up, which normally you wouldn't do, but I wanted them to come closer to the size of this. They need to go in here first because they're going to take the longest to cook. I used about half this bag of potatoes. That should be good. So let's let that cook for about 15 minutes. We'll start adding the rest of the stuff. All right, guys, it's been about 15 minutes. This is boiling nicely. It smells delicious. Time to add the sausage and the corn, and then in a little bit I'm going to add the crab. Then we're going to add the shrimp and the clams. So we should be good to go pretty soon. So sausage, and just so you know, a lot of people use andouille sausage. I wanted to use andouille sausage. My wife hates pork. She got chicken sausage, so we'll find out how this actually is, but it's pork free. And here's a bunch of corn. All right, guys, give this a stir. Put the lid back on. We're going to start putting in the seafood shortly. All right, guys, that's been enough time. Let's add the crab, let's add the clams, and get this thing going. So, crab, just no crab. We don't have king crab, but so it's not going to take as long to cook, but it's going to be just as delicious. And get straight on in here.
Make sure to stick your hand fully into the water.
That's always the plan. Just dunk your hand all the way into the water with this stuff. It'll be good. So we got the
wife walking through.
the wife walking right on through the camera. But this just shows. It's funny because there's a lot of people here now. I know you didn't think there was anybody here earlier. There's a lot of people here now, and it's party spilling out all over outside, inside. Clams added. So the only thing we have left to add after that is the shrimp. And shrimp doesn't take too long to cook, so we're going to add that right pretty much when this thing is ready to be eaten. And I'll see you guys at that stage. All right, we're coming up to the very end of this thing here.
Corey's going for a second time.
I actually specifically started talking just because I saw you walking through. It is recording, but I was gonna wait. All right, guys. So we're at the very end of this thing here. I'm gonna throw the shrimp in. They should only take less than 5 minutes to cook. And what I've been told is when you throw the shrimp in, you usually turn off the heat and they cook in the residuals that are there. Then I got to figure out how to actually empty this thing. And I got my table set up that my papers are going everywhere to dump this thing out on. We are almost ready. So let's add the shrimp and turn off the heat. Here we go, last little addition. And these are actually peeled and deveined shrimp, but they're tail-on shrimp that we bought. So it takes out the work for us. And it's I haven't been saying the amounts of stuff I'm putting in. Sausages I put in 8 sausages cut in half. There was 8 ears of corn cut in half. You guys know about the onions and stuff. Crabs, there was I think 5 bushels or little clusters of crab. And this is 4 total pounds of shrimp. So hopefully that's the numbers you guys needed to see. So let's get these things under the water. And I will tell you, I'm so glad I took out the colander because this thing is like literally at the top. When I grab the camera in a minute, I'll show you guys this. We're gonna close it up, turn off the heat, but let me bring you in for a close-up. So that is how we are sitting right now in this pot. So as you can see, there is quite a bit of stuff in here. It is maxed out. And there's Matt taking care of the table over there that we're ready for. And I'll turn off this heat and cover this thing back up, let the shrimp cook, and we will call this thing finished. Okay guys, seafood boil is done. I need to go dump this thing out since I couldn't use that colander in the pot. I gotta take it inside and dump it into the colander in the sink. This will be a challenge, but we'll see what we can do. It is very full. Okay, here we go. Watch it, guys. Watch it. Watch things. All the way to the sink. Sorry, that was my wife and the baby. We want the baby to get burned from this thing. So here we go. Let's hope this will work. It's kind of sad to see all this potential juice go away. I might try to leave a little bit in the bottom if I can. Those clams look amazing. There's actually still some left in this pot, but all the juice is gone. So basically, out of what we just did today, we got everything in that colander plus this. So it's a good thing I got rid of the colander. So let it drain for just a second. Then we're gonna go spread it out on the table and enjoy. This is the final product that's got dumped out on this table here for everybody. They left me a nice clear opening over here, so everybody. This is so this is what we ended up with. Okay, no. When he comes back this way, this is what we ended up with after what we just did today. So guys, it's gonna taste. I already ate one of the potatoes. It's delicious. I will come get some of the rest of the food in a minute, but hopefully this is as good as it smells, as it sounds, and I will see you guys next time. So guys, I just wanted to say that right after I poured out the boil on the table, I had to go up. It was my duty to go take our baby up to bed because it was his bedtime. And I came down about 20 minutes later, and granted it started raining in the interim, so a lot of people moved inside. They moved inside. This was literally all that was left of the seafood boil. I don't mean that it got washed out by the rain. This was what was left of the seafood boil. There was 2 pieces of corn and 2 potatoes, and that's it. So obviously it was a success. Alright guys, stay tuned for the next seafood boil. I'm gonna take what I've learned from this one, incorporate it in the next one, and do this again.